What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video by yours truly. I've been seeing all the controversy surrounding Lilium, saying that she sucks, she doesn't deal enough damage, she's underwhelming. And I kind of just want to share my perspective on the whole ordeal. I actually think people are right. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think people are right, but at the same time, I feel like they're not maybe taking in all the intricacies of the girl's kit in comparison to another DPS that's single target like Ditting. Ditting's fucking insane. Even my Yelly, who I use in like majority of modes in the game, can't compare to my Ditting. Ditting is just like, his damage is absolutely atrocious. And I'm going to show you in a showcase against Terra Matan, a scenario that just paints the picture on how much damage the fucking guy does. I get like a 47-second clear time with Ditting, and I can't even come close to that with any other team. But I feel like people aren't like taking into consideration that of course she's not going to deal as much damage as somebody like Ditting, who he only has one skill. It's just single target, burst them down, right? Whereas somebody like Lilium, she has crowd control, she has HP reduction, which I think is an absurd trait for PvP exclusively. If you turn her into a bruiser, she can just keep reducing their fucking HP down while life stealing back to survive. The longer that fight goes on, the more nightmare it's going to be with her. And then you can't reduce her turn meter, you can't CC her. She's just got so many perks apart from damage that I think if she were to rival Ditting in DPS while having access to all those other perks, I mean, that's just the definition of broken here, isn't it? And maybe that is the experience from Epic 7 players and Summoner's War players. Maybe the light dark units are supposed to be that valuable. I don't know, I didn't play those games. But what exactly is the perspective here for a light and dark unit? Are they supposed to do everything that pre-existing units do, but better? Or are they supposed to maybe be balanced in a way where you sacrifice certain perks of their kit, such as damage, but in PvP they have these overwhelming perks that just shit on the PvE characters? For me, I think that makes the most sense. You know what I mean? I think like her damage right now may appear to be a bit underwhelming, but all those other perks are fucking like absurd. Like, I'll just tell you right now, if somebody picks an Obel and a Mio like early, like let's say first pick Lily, boom, the next character, or you get first pick, right? You lock in the Lily, the other guy gets second pick and they go Obel Mio. Well, then you just go Lilium in the middle, and then they're fucked. They can't CC the Lilium, you know what I mean? So she's a real problem in that regard. She's a real problem for a Tiamat player because she can be a bruiser. You can put bloodbath on her, and you can make her survive. And then as that fight goes on, she's going to keep ulting the fucking Tiamat. The Tiamat's HP is going to keep getting lower and lower. She's a formidable foe against bruiser comps, right? So I think for a PvP angle, the light dark value is going to show itself. But from a PvE angle, yeah, she's going to be a downgrade to Ditting in a number of scenarios. She's going to be a downgrade to Yelly in some scenarios. But then in a mode where, I mean, like Ringo Kutsu, I think she's actually better than both of them because of the lifesteal mechanic. She has a bit more survivability than they do. I just think Etheria Restart, it's a possibility that they have a bit too much of a balancing act that players are used to. That's what I'm seeing in front of me. In the lens of like balancing, maybe they're balancing their characters a bit too much. In my perspective though, I'm looking at it in a realm of, I think they're doing a good job of balancing. I don't know. Because at the same time, I feel like with Etheria Restart, they have captured the demographic they set out to capture. Core audience wise, they have captured the Epic 7 Summoners War audience, not all of them, but a good degree of them. But then the other problem is they captured just a smidge of the mainstream audience that comes from my demographic of players, which is Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail players. Honkai Star Rail, the Lands of the Power Creep. We came into this with the lens of light dark characters are fucking insane in these games, right? That's what we came into this with. And then when we get a light and dark character and they aren't blowing our socks off, probably that demographic is going, what the fuck? These characters suck. I thought they were going to be insane. I thought they're going to blow my mind, especially coming from the Land of Power Creep. And then the Epic 7 Summoners War players, I don't know what y'all come from. I don't know if light dark units are a bit more valuable in those games than they are in Etheria Restart. But I think this is creating a bit of a perspective like clash, where it's like, what is the value of a light dark character? What is it supposed to be? What are the metrics and benchmarks? Because from where I stand, I think Yelly shits all over Didding in PvP. It's not even close. Like, nobody even uses a fucking Didding unless it's just you ain't got no other option. And Lilium shits all over Didding in PvP. But in PvE, these characters have been balanced to not shit on the other characters, I guess, with free to play in mind and with progression in mind. Yeah, I just want to show you guys what her damage looks like versus somebody like Didding. And I put the exact same build on them because they both can quite literally use the exact same build for damage purposes. So it's like momentum with Fury and a Fury edge, right? This is going to be the Didding build. And for her, because she's faster than my Didding, I have to actually give her a separate piece. I have to take away speed from her, because if I don't, she's going to jump in front of my my Holden and my Kloss, which is going to fuck the damage. She's not going to get the strip. She's not going to get the Kloss debuffs, and she's going to be cooked. The only reason this is a problem is because my account doesn't efficiently farm Ringo Kutsu yet. So I have a shit fucking Holden. He doesn't have the Swift Smite, right? If I had the right gear on him, then he would go from 267 speed to like 300 speed. And then it wouldn't matter about her jumping in front of him. She wouldn't be able to because he's too fast. And then she suffers from him being slow as fuck. I have to literally nerf her speed. She has to be slower than Holden, because if she's not slower than Holden, then she's not going to be able to put the debuff, right? So just walking y'all through that little quick tidbit here. But let me show you like the performance of fucking Didding's damage. It's just like, it's absurd, bro. Like the guy is so damn strong that he just makes everybody else look shit in single target damage. That's just what he does. But that's all he does. That's what I was trying to tell y'all. So we're going to go for the strip here to take off the immunity, right? We know this is pretty standard. She's going to follow up, hopefully land all of her buffs. Okay, she landed them all. Defense down, all that. Didding goes, boom, boom. Like, boom. The damage that Didding does is ridiculous. And he didn't put his vulnerability on them. If he puts vulnerability, this guy's at half health. But Didding's going to follow up one more time, right? We're going to go ahead and ult again with our Holden to strip this defense off of him. Boom. Kloss is going to push this guy back. Didding's going to go again. Another ult. Does he apply vulnerability? Bop, bop. He applied vulnerability. So, and then look, she auto attacks and fucking like, you can't compete with this guy's damage. If he applied vulnerability the first time, then it already be dead, right? It would already be dead. That was a 50-second run only because he didn't apply vulnerability the first time through. So now I want to show you what it looks like when I put in a Lilium. Lilium can't even finish the run because the defense doesn't last long enough from Claw. So let me swap over to my Lilium. God, I love this new format. So she's rocking a build that's pretty much the exact same. There's a 7% chance she doesn't land the crit, which would really piss me off. I had to swap that out for the speed tuning purposes. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same run. Lilium's going to go now. And you're going to notice her damage obviously isn't as much as Didding's because she doesn't have fucking vulnerability built into her kit. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you all the investment. My Lilium is 11 lattices. She has everything except the one lattice that says deal 1% more damage on the skill proc. So here we go. Boom. That you can see that's pretty impressive. It's like a little bit less than Didding's damage. Just a little bit less. Nothing crazy. Where she falls off is she can't apply that vulnerability. And so the damage just gets worse. Okay, so she does jump in front. Terramaton goes. We're going to strip. Boom, good. And then we're going to push him back. Boom. And then she ults again. So here's another big damage factor right here. Land the crit, please. Land the crit, please. Okay, she landed the crit. And that's Lilium, right? Didding, the motherfucker's dead already. Which is wild. But he doesn't have turn immunity. He doesn't have CC immunity and what is it? HP reduction, crowd control on the stun if she kills a character. He doesn't have all that shit, guys. So like, I think it's completely fair that you know, she's doing this, whereas Didding's doing the damage he does. Holy, did she miss a crit? Oh no, boys, that's not good. But yeah, you can see that's how that run kind of goes south. It's because oh girl just doesn't have that little bit of extra damage that Didding has, which I can actually switch this team up to where she consistently goes 9-0, right? I just had the exact same scenario because my Didding can get it done in that time. Whereas with Lilium, she doesn't get it done in the same amount of time, which is where shit starts to go south. But if you just swap, what's it called? Kloss over to the Codex of Magic, then Lilium is able to sustain more efficiently. That's literally the only difference it is right there. Switch her over to Codex of Magic and then Lilium starts to pop the fuck off. And just to go ahead and show you guys the lattice investment, she's filled out right here. She's filled out right here. The only thing I didn't fill out was this right here. Increase the final damage boost to 1% on the skill, which maybe that would have secured the W if I would have had this like filled in. But I was just like, nah, I'm good, bro. I only got 4 lattices remaining. That shit is not worth it for me. I also want to point out too, though, I don't think White Fang is as good as Count on my Lilium. If I were to swap over to the Count where I get the 1,000 attack boost, I think I might actually perform a bit more and even narrow the gap in damage a bit more as well, which would further boost the value of Lilium. Now, I can't test it because I fucking can't farm Ringo Kutsu efficiently, so I can't get the damn Count to drop. But the minute that I'm able to get Count to drop and get momentum and get the whole like shebang on the Count, I probably will be able to close that performance a bit more. The over like arcing perspective of my argument for Lilium though is I don't think she's as bad as people is making her out to be. I also don't think they fully fleshed out all of the different nuances of how to play this character in PvP. And I also think a big factor, speaking of which, is I think Lilium out of all the characters has the best chance against Ringo Kutsu because she can just keep healing her life back. And I don't know, I feel like her ultimate value is going to reside in PvP as a counter pick to CCs, as a formidable foe against bruiser comps. And I think most people were probably expecting to throw a momentum Fury build on her with the Count, and she was just going to do what Hoyan does, right? And just straight up instant delete, fuck shit up, CC whole teams, doing max damage, and like, oh my gosh, she's broken. And I don't know, I just feel like maybe we overshot it on that. But hey, at the end of the day, I always say I'm not somebody who tries to like pretend like they're the expert in this field of, you know, these Epic 7 Summoners War Etheria Restart games. I'm very much still a learning student of it, and so there might be some things that I'm missing out on, but ultimately I like her value. I will always say it though, like it was the same thing with Yeli. I think if I have to dump fucking pretty much 12 lattices into a character, I do think the value of the character should be a bit more than what we're experiencing due to the shortage of lattices. Once again, I think it's a lattice problem, not even a fucking character problem. Because I had the same feeling and sentiments for Yeli. When Yeli first came out, guys, I'll be honest, I was underwhelmed with her performance too. I was underwhelmed with her performance, but now I realized that shit, Yeli's been carrying the living shit out of my account. I use her in, well, Didding's my Terramatan guy, right? But I use Yeli against all literal, like, let's just go ahead and pull up over here. I use Yeli against Ringo Kutsu, Sharon, and Nico Nana. And I would use her against Hoyan too, except Hoyan just counters, one taps the fuck out of her. And then in PvP, I'm Yeli every single time unless she gets snatched from me. Like Yeli immediately. She is hard carrying for my PvP account. But my initial impression of her was, damn, bro, I just dumped all 12 lattices into this character, and I was expecting her to be even more strong than she already is. And I, looking back on it, was just expecting a bit too fucking much. You know, I was expecting a bit too much. In reality, she's the highest valued character on my account, bar none right now. Obviously, apart from fucking Lily, she's the highest valued character. And now I think with Lilium, if I go into PvP and my account gets fully fleshed out build wise, she's probably going to be the second to third highest valued character on my account, because the amount of here's where I'll end it off on. I think people overlook the power of draft phase, right? And now that we have, if you own Lilium and you have her built, now that you have another drafting phase tool to utilize to prevent CC comps from banning a Lily, now they have to respect the fucking Lilium, right? That's a huge thing. Same thing with bruiser comps. They might have to respect the Lilium now, and now they have to decide between banning Lily and Lilium. It's like, holy shit, Lilium, holy. People overlook the value of how powerful a character like Lilium can be merely just for drafting phase. It's huge. I think that's gonna wrap up all of my thoughts. Thank you for listening to all of the happening, guys. But hey, if you have like a different perspective on the matter, if there's something you think I missed, comment down below and let me know your thoughts. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Peace, love, and happiness. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.